We are just a couple days away from Thanksgiving. I'd like to start this episode off with some things that I'm thankful for. And let's just start with the these things that everybody's been wanting for forever. I can't stay serious. I'm not about to say I'm thankful for bundles. They are so garbage. So freaking garbage. Awful, okay? I tried to force myself to say it, but I can't. They are so freaking useless. Burning those. What I really am thankful for, though, is shulker boxes. Okay, are we just forgetting these exist? I know it's a little bit of a mess right now. I have all of them out. But I mean, it's so much better than freaking bundles. Why would you use bundles instead? It's so dumb. I would also like to say I'm thankful for my doggo over here. A very, very nice little guy, Mr. Freddy. And, you know, I'm thankful for the typical things like you know, the fact that I can afford food and a job and all that other good stuff. The typical things you hear on Thanksgiving. I'm not a total loser that only talks about Minecraft. But I am pretty thankful for Minecraft, I'm not gonna lie. Like very, very thankful for this game. It has gotten me through some very, very, very hard times. So, you know, I'm just thankful I've had this game to play and just get me through some things. And, you know, outside is scary, so it's nice that I can spend most of my time inside playing this stupid game. Hello, ladies and jailbros. Welcome back to episode 21 on the Blue LP. And today, no time for niceties. We got a lot to do today. This slime farm is ridiculous, okay? I did some mob proofing underground. I found a few caves that were covered in mobs. And now this thing is, yeah, it's overflown. Okay, we gotta hurry and get this sucker fixed right now. Or at least empty it. All those caves have made a huge difference for the slime farm. I guess we'll start cleaning up by crafting all of these balls into blocks. Which there are so many of these suckers. I'm just trying to throw them all on the ground. It's so many. At least it's kind of satisfying crafting them. So many balls! Oh my goodness. Alrighty, there we go. Craft them all into blocks. And this is kind of satisfying, I'm not gonna lie. Feels good just crafting a giant pile into blocks. I don't know if we're gonna have enough room in here. Is this enough? Oh crap. Oh, it's really close. Alright, I went down below to fix this problem. I'm not going to be amazing at explaining it, but we are down in the kill chamber of the slime farm, right? Ow! Jerk, that wasn't very nice. I've set up an auto crafter here, and I'm not too good at explaining it, but this comparator is on subtract mode, and we have a comparator running into it, so whenever that crafter gets full, it will automatically send a signal into the crafter, if that makes sense. I'll get better at explaining it someday, but let's see if we can watch it happen naturally. Come on. Fill up. Fill up. Okay, it did not fill up. We'll fill it up ourselves. Boom, put one in there. It gets crafted. Then it goes into our water stream at the very top. And that is pretty much it all solved right there. See, we'll throw in more. And that will get crafted immediately. Boom, just like that. So instead of tons of slime balls, instead we're getting tons of slime blocks. Now that is not even close to our main objective for the day. Today, we are finally going to make something a lot better. It is this ugly cobblestone box that is also known as the creeper farm that doesn't really work too well, but it'll work a little bit better eventually. But if you remember from a recent video, I said that to make your farms work better, you need to make them look aesthetically better. That's what we're doing today. I have some copper here. I'm going to try to use copper in this build. But to use copper effectively, you're going to want a pretty good honey farm. And if you look behind me, I have a giant iron, a rectangle looking thingy. This is going to be the honey bottle and honeycomb bee farm, whatever you want to call it. Now, I am no redstone genius whatsoever. I have made this farm from my own ideas, from my own brain, no videos used whatsoever. It is a honeycomb farm. Well, technically this version right here is a honey bottle farm, but it's pretty easy to make it a honeycomb farm only. Let's go into spectator mode real quick. As you can see here, the observer detects if something goes in or out of the hive or if there's honey inside of it. Then it sends a pulse to that light right there, and then the top observer detects that light and then sends a pulse to the dispenser, which triggers honey bottles to go inside the hive, and then it falls down or to the side, which means this is a no-loss honey bottle farm, or honeycomb farm, depends on how you make it. We'll be making both. The downside of this farm, though, is that whenever the observer puts a pulse into the dispenser, it actually gives a pulse to the dispensers on the left and right, along with the middle, which sucks because then we're just, putting out bad signals that don't need put out. But that's okay. We can deal with it. It's not a huge deal. Right here is where the real magic happens, the collection area. The empty bottles or honey bottles go through here. Empty bottles go through this system right here, down to the dispenser, where it gets put back into the system, which is awesome. And then the honey bottles get put through a filter. They'll go down this way into an auto crafter that'll fill up, and whenever it gets 4 bottles, it'll make a honey block, which is awesome. And then when a honey block is made, actually, you get 4 empty bottles back. So that means that we can set up a way to put the empty bottles back into the system and the honey blocks into our actual collection area right here, which is pretty awesome, meaning that once the sucker gets all the way filled with empty bottles, we'll never have to worry about it again. It's pretty much self-sustaining after you fill it up all the way. And of course, this simple system that we've kind of used before is just detects if something's inside of the dispenser, and then if something is, it gets dispensed. So we're not constantly making noise, which is super annoying, but then it gets put back into the system, which is pretty simple and awesome. I hope that made sense. I'm not a redstone genius, okay, but every now and then I come up with something cool. But let's get this started. Let's go get some hives, which are all the way over here at this Halloween area, which I kind of miss. I'm not gonna lie. This was a fun little project during Halloween. And hello, Mr. Skelebro, how you doing? I hope you're doing amazing. I'll be back next year, don't you worry. Let's head back here and get our hives that already have bees, and then we can start breeding them and stuff, and it'll be awesome. And this little amateur, little basic honey farm, it's super simple. I did have to wait until night, though. I forgot. I need to wait for them to all go into their hives. But yeah, we just pick it up right here, and I will go ahead and loot all this. It's kind of funny looting my own stuff. It feels wrong for some reason, just stealing everything. But it's my own stuff. Alright, so now we can get started building this, and I've laid out the areas. This will be the honeycomb section of it, which is a lot easier. This will be the honey bottle section, which is the difficult part, because there's a lot more that has to go with it. When we have this area over here for the hopper system filter section. So the first thing we're going to want to do is probably dig out a decently sized area. I hate having to just, be all squished and trying to make my way around an area, so we're going to try to make a decently sized hole right here. There we go, and now we can go ahead and start making some of the redstone. This right here is the first filter that the honey bottles go through, and then it'll send the empty bottles back into the system. And now for our first little test of the filters, make sure they work. I know they do. Put a honey bottle in there, and then it goes down here. I already put one in there earlier. But yeah, pretty simple. It goes into the crafter, and it is working. That part is all done, I believe. And I do have some honey hives back there, just in case we might need some more. Which we might. We need to fill up this filter. That's one of the hard parts about this, actually. In creative, we can just put as much as we want in there. But, in survival, we have to actually get the stuff before we can really make the filters work correctly. Which is kind of annoying, but, whatever. Yeah, I should have thought about this. We're going to need actual honey blocks to actually make the filters. So, for now, while we test this, we're going to just use yellow wool for now as a substitute, just to make sure this filter is actually working. But yeah, it's a little annoying. Okay, so I have made the area where the glass bottles will go into to get put back into the system. If we put them right here, they should not go down to the auto crafter at all because of this right here, which seems to be working correctly. And as you can see back there, they are getting chucked out into something that'll eventually be a water stream that takes them all the way back to the system. Eventually. And that has given me the correct amount. Yep, 27. Perfect. Now let's test out the next spot, which is where the auto crafter will craft honey bottles. We'll put in 27 into here. They should not go to that bottom hopper whatsoever. Throw out that 26 and they should be right there. Okay, obviously they're not going to go to the right spot if my hopper's not pointed the right direction. Duh. Okay, put this back in. Now, obviously, duh, it'll get thrown back into here. Pretty simple, pretty easy. Nothing too crazy. We should get exactly 27 bottles eventually. Of course, it takes a second. I've been slowly, naturally harvesting some honey bottles so we can make the honey blocks and really test out this thing. Give it a good old test. Right here, it looks like we have probably enough that we'll never run into any problems with it overloading. The honey blocks don't come in as often. They'll be a little bit slower than the honeycombs. Right here, we have plenty of preparation, plenty of shears, plenty of bottles. Let's do a legitimate test. By the way, this line of hoppers right here is the honeycomb portion. It doesn't really need any filters because all that's coming through is just honeycomb. Pretty simple. It goes all the way to that area right there, which eventually will go into our storage. Right here, though, is the honey bottle line. Let's give this a good old test. Let's try to throw these in a bit randomly and make sure that everything goes in correctly. Throw in these. Throw in these. Just randomly. Really give it a full-on test, you know? Let's see here. Okay, I can see bottles coming out the back. Seems like it's working properly. Looks like our filters are working correctly. You can see them kind of firing off. Looks like this is probably all done crafting. Of course, it takes 4. I don't know how many honey bottles they put in. Oh yeah, look at that. Honey blocks right there. Perfect. Honey bottles back here. More than I put in, I think. Which makes sense because it crafted some honey blocks. I believe this is done. Now that we have like the brains and the hard stuff done, we can actually work on the hives. And I have worked on them. They were pretty simple. I mean, you saw them in our redstone test world. I have noticed that another flaw, we do need to completely fill this thing up with glass bottles, everything, hoppers, dispensers, all of it, which is a little painful, not gonna lie. This is one stack of glass blocks is one stack of glass bottles, which is so painful. So I'm just slowly, over time, filling this up. I have mined so much sand already. By the way, the honey bottle in there will eventually get dispensed out, so it's okay that it went in here. This is still mostly lossless. Eventually, that honey bottle will get put back into the system, so that is totally fine. And yeah, this area right here is pretty much all done. Now we kind of just got to make the honeycomb portion, but let's go to bed, and you'll see this firing off. Here we go. Boom, right there. All those lights are the observers detecting that the hives were bees went in them, or there's honey inside of them, something. You can see the honey bottles getting put back into the system right there, which is perfect. And I have done a little bit of AFKing just to make sure it worked. Look at that. 23 honey blocks so far, which is awesome. This thing works. And now we pretty much just got to do the easy portion of this, which is the honeycomb part. And that's pretty much the same thing, but you know, less hoppers, less filters. It's literally just going to the very end. It's easy peasy. This is by far the most satisfying part of making these farms, is making the tube that takes the items all the way to my main storage. Oh, this is so satisfying, just watching everything head over. I just made the tube, so everything's going in. We got a lot right now. Oh yeah, woo, this is exciting. We get to make the item frame, which I love, just seeing this slowly fill up with things, you know. And what should we put in here? A honeycomb? No, let's put a honey block. I feel like that'll look better. I think it'll be 3D. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Oh, man. This is exciting. I love this part. Just watching it fill up. Oh, it's amazing. I love industrial farms. It's the best. And over here, as you can see, it's pretty simple. It's literally the same thing, but instead we have shears, and it's a lot easier. I filled each of these up with 9 shears, by the way, just because I have a stupid good iron farm, and I need to use some iron. Like, my iron farm's ridiculous. I have too much iron for one shulker box. But this is done, pretty much. We'll build a building around it eventually. But now we can make the creeper building, finally, and use some copper. But before we do that, as you know, the Tower of the Awesome People. The last people on episodes 11 through 20 Mr. Frogmo, thank you. Bob, which you've been in here several straight times. I think it's your fourth now. And Celtic Mestizo, I like your name. Your name's cool. Thank you for the comments on the last video. And now you're in the Tower of the Awesome People. And now we're moving up to section 21 through 30. I need to put a sign. There we go. Episode 21. If you comment on this video, you will get put in the Tower of the Awesome People. There's rules in the description if you're curious. And look at this view up here. We are on the 3rd floor. I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you all so much. But now it's time to work on the creeper building. This is exciting. This has just been a cobblestone box for so freaking long. I'm so tired of it. This is also going to be a very experimental build. It's kind of a weird build because this is kind of like a perfect square. But it's so tall. It's going to be a little tricky to make this overly detailed, I think. But I'm going to hopefully try my best and make it look good. Hopefully. I don't know. And hopefully maybe it'll work better. As you know, if you make them look aesthetically better, they work better. But let's do a little bit of a montage. I wish I could say that we're done with this. It's not looking awful, I'm not gonna lie. I don't mind it. I made the roof too. But we are all out of copper, which is so unfortunate. We're so close to being done. And it's not looking bad. It's really not looking bad. It's a little experimental, but you know, I don't mind it. I'm trying to get more copper, so I used my own copper. It has been 6 hours of waiting for this to fully oxidize. Oh my goodness, I didn't realize how awful it is. Why would you do it this way? Why would you do it this way? I don't use copper that often. Maybe there's a better way to oxidize it, but this way right here is awful. Awful. Just waiting for it to oxidize is terrible. It's been 6 hours. I placed some that were like almost fully oxidized in here, and this is as far as they've gotten. This bottom portion all the way down here is all we've gotten. So I feel like it's better if we just go to a freaking trial chamber and just grab some instead of waiting 6 hours. Oh, stupid freaking baby zombies. The one bad thing about going to trial chambers, though, is you have to deal with the stupid little mobs. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Not again. Not again. Not the same spot as that one time that we died. Stop it. Haha. See, we didn't die this time. We didn't die this time. That'd be embarrassing to die in the same spot that we did a while ago. Oh, I dislike baby zombies so much. They're so annoying and stupid. Ugh. Now I would like to leave my countryside home right here and just go take this path to the industrial area and just see what this build looks like from afar. This is something I love doing, is just getting all of the angles or just natural angles. And let's look at the polluted industrial area from over here, and that build is looking mega. It's very experimental, this build is, with copper and like, I could have made just your typical little office building with like, you know, typical windows. Even though I couldn't use typical windows, actually. I was forced to use tinted windows because, as you know, there's a creeper farm in there. And if we use actual glass, we'll let light inside, and that's no good. So we had to use lots of tinted glass with the amethyst and all that. And I don't mind that. I don't mind that. It looks unique, which I like. I don't want it to look like your boring little industrial building. If we go to this road over here, I like this. I like this. This isn't bad. At first, I didn't like it. I thought about just completely changing this whole entire build. But now I feel like I really like this build. I really like it. And if we head down here, I made some little details over here, which will be more around here eventually. But we have this little maintenance area right here. Do not enter. There's no actual way to get inside of this, so I kind of have to use this leaf over here to jump inside. Just a little detail with the scaffolding, observers, just like tools and stuff that we've maybe used in some of the builds here. And it lets us get inside right here, which is super cool. But yeah, just a mess of things that we would use in builds and industrial buildings and all that. A little broken up road right here to kind of signify that, oh, whoops, didn't mean to do that. Kind of signify that this has been used a lot in like kind of a rougher kind of way. Like we don't really care about this back area and what it looks like. It can be a mess while everything else is mostly organized. And then we have this nice little front area. I kind of think of this like an office building or like a meeting building or something. We have this door right here. Close those. It's not actually supposed to be a door, technically. It's just for looks. And we have this nice view of the streets and my mess of shulker boxes. Don't judge me, okay? Over here, we have a nice way to get inside. Not really a nice way. It's just kind of a way for me to go look and make sure everything's working correctly. The tube that takes the gunpowder straight to the storage area. It looks amazing. And yeah, this is all done. The only thing that I need to go do right now is go fix the farm, because I did end up breaking a piece of carpet somewhere inside of there. Not quite sure where. There it is. Okay, there's the stupid idiot piece of wool carpet that we broke back here. Put that back so we don't get any spider spawns, hopefully. Even though I don't think it actually works, but I think it works half the time, maybe. I don't know. They need to fix creeper spawns. Something's going on there. I don't know what it is. But I believe that's going to do it for today, guys. We've gotten a lot done today. A massive industrial episode. I will clean up this mess, by the way, off camera. It is ugly. It is disgusting. It'll be cleaned up eventually. But yeah, that's going to do it for today, guys. I've had a lot of fun building all of this. It's just been like a very heavy industrial episode, and those are fun. It's been a redstone episode. It's been a building episode. Oh man, I love these kinds of episodes where we just do everything and just grind and get it done. That building took 2 streams to get done, by the way. Absolute pain in the butt. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have a good rest of your week. I can say that because this is getting released on a Monday. I can wish that you have a good rest of your week, and if it is a good rest of your week, you know, it's because of me. You're welcome. Make sure you like, sub, do all the things if you want. Love you all. Peace out. Goodbye.